Radio check, loud and clear. Okay. Thank you everyone for tuning in and welcome along to the coverage. Apologies for the slight delay, just a small little hiccup with the internet before I got started. Alright, yeah. So, here we go then. Yeah, we are 27 minutes away from the start of Free Practice 2. We've just had Formula 2 qualifying finish. Alexander Dunn, who was doing so well in Free Practice 1 with the McLaren team, he ended up in 7th position in the Formula 2 quali. So yeah, still he's doing really good in Formula 1, not so much in Formula 2. I mean, it's you obviously lose that rhythm a little bit. He had the Formula 2 rhythm going, and then he stepped into the Formula 1 car, did really well, and then had to go back to a slower car. That might have played into it, but yeah. Still a good result regardless for him. Alright. So it is... It's Russell up in first position with Verstappen in second and Piastri in third. The top three split by a tenth and a half. We had quite a lot of running in Free Practice 1, and there were some drops of rain here and there. The drops of rain stayed like that, and we ended up with a dry Free Practice 2. Well, a dry quali for Formula 2, and we're going to have a dry Free Practice 2 as well. Not too much to worry about there in terms of the weather. Leclerc will be back, and so will Lando Norris. Both the drivers will be taking back their seats from the rookies. And yeah, we'll see now from Hamilton. Well, at the end of today, we'll see what Hamilton says about the upgrades. Of course, his Free Practice 1 session was cut short by the fact that he had his gearbox issues earlier out in the day, but it's all right. I think things will still work out for him just fine. Yeah. iPhone Gamer, hope you're well. Thanks, Mikey. Hope you guys are doing well as... Yeah, hope you guys are doing well as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, we did hit 173k subs, last stream, so let me increase the target. I think 174k subs by the end of quali. That is definitely possible. So yeah, if you haven't hit the like button or you haven't subscribed, be sure to do so. Alright. Was watching the F1 movie. Anything exciting in Free Practice 1 or so far in FP2? No, nothing much really. How did you find the F1 movie? Yeah. Let me know what you think. I've already watched it. I'm not going to spoil it really, but it was pretty good. Not realistic whatsoever, but I still enjoyed it. I think in the same way where, if you watch like Top Gun Maverick, or if you watch like The Martian as a scientist, or if you watch Top Gun Maverick as a fighter pilot, you're gonna look at it and you're gonna be like, well, that's not really that accurate, is it? And that's not gonna work. But if you just watch it purely from the perspective of the general public, I think it's still pretty cool. Yeah. Alright, a couple other things to talk about then. So, talks of George Russell's contract. He hasn't had his contract renewed just yet. It expires in 2025, so at the end of this year, his contract expires. However, he's been doing so many things well. I suspect it won't be an issue really for him. And he should get that extended as long as Max Verstappen doesn't come and get a seat in Mercedes. And, if Max Verstappen were to leave Red Bull, then is George Russell going to... Where's Russell going to go? Is he going to go to Red Bull? Is he going to go elsewhere? I don't really know. I don't really see George Russell at any other team. But, we are entering silly season, the halfway point of the season where all of the transfer rumours are kicking off. We've got rumours that Seb Vettel's joining Red Bull again. That's not happening. He's probably going to go for an advisory role in the Red Bull team. Yeah. Was the F1 movie better than Gran Turismo one? I hadn't watched the Gran Turismo one, actually. I probably should have watched it. I've seen a couple clips here and there, but I didn't actually watch the Grand Tour. I've seen some clips which show like he's meant to be at the Le Mans 24 Hours race or something, but they show the Hungaro ring, which as a fan of Formula One, it's pretty obvious to me what the Hungaro ring is and what the Le Mans circuit is, but still, to the average person, it would have just been a-okay. Like, they wouldn't have worried about it too much. Okay. At F1 Gamer, I think Ferrari should test the upgrades on Leclerc's car. They'll have upgrades for both cars. They're just going to have Hamilton test them out, have Leclerc drive the unupgraded version of the car, see which one works better, and then based off that, they'll make a decision for tomorrow whether they're going to have the upgraded car or the non-upgraded car. Okay. I wake up at midnight just to watch the race. Yeah, I mean, I would. I've done that. I've woken up at 3 a.m. to watch races, even when I wasn't commentating. I think I have definitely got up at like 5 a.m. to watch Suzuka. But you know, you got to do what you got to do. All right. A couple of other things to talk about then. What else have we got then? The Williams should be doing pretty well here. Albon did pretty well in the Williams. Sainz didn't have the best weekend out in Canada. Albon had an all right quali at least, and then this race as well, very power sensitive. You do need quite a bit of top speed. Sorry, you don't really need that much downforce. There are some high speed corners, turn number 9, turn number 10, but in terms of pure grip required, like the teams will much more opt for a lower downforce setup to get the top speed that they want down the straights. Mm-hmm. What time is it in Austria? In Austria, it is 4:40 p.m. Yeah. Why the drivers have someone next to them recording what they say in the race interviews? It's on TV what they say. It is, but the teams keep it for their sort of internal documents, just in case. Let's say a driver says something that they aren't particularly happy about. Then they have it on record to say that, oh yeah, this is what the driver said. Our PR person is there. I suspect the PR team will probably analyze also a little bit of what the drivers say, and then maybe give them some pointers to say, oh, avoid saying this next time, or maybe say this in a more positive way, or something like that. Like the PR and the media team, it plays a significant role for the drivers. I mean, obviously not in terms of how quick they are, but just of the amount of time that in the weekend that they spend with the media team and the PR team is quite significant, considering that they're racing drivers, not television broadcasters or anything. The weather forecast for Spielberg is dry. We've seen quite a few clouds around. We've seen a couple of drops of rain here and there, but on the whole, it seems to be a dry forecast. Okay. What else have we got going on then? Norris and Leclerc back in FP2? Indeed so. They will be back and they will be driving. Okay. Let's see, what else have we got to talk about then? The Hasses haven't been doing too greatly, really. Down in 19th and 20th position on pure pace, really. I think, yeah, Haas have switched off development for this year's car, so it's going to be all focusing on next year, and because of that, they're going to have a bad rest of the season, really. There's no other way to put it. Yeah, Aston Martin have made some upgrades here and there. They were looking pretty good at the start of FP1, but in the end, they ended up down in 13th and 14th position. I think maybe we'll see Fernando Alonso get back up into the top 10 because, well, yeah, Alonso's just a quick driver. The Aston Martin isn't too slow, and yeah, I guess we'll see. Good morning, all. After midnight, brass monkey weather is in Eastern Australia. Loving the commentary as usual. Thank you, buddy. Yeah. All right then. We'll have a couple more things to run through, but firstly, I shall take you through a lap of the circuit. All right. Where is my mouse? All right. Here we go. So you come out the final corner, and you spin as is expected, really, if you hit that curb. So you don't do that. The drive. Fernando Alonso did something very similar to that, in fact, in FP1. But he had cold tires. I just had a lack of skill, a lack of talent, as they would say. But you come out the final corner, get a good exit onto the start-finish straight, open the DRS flap as expected, and then brake at the 80-meter mark, hit that first apex perfectly, and then onto the second straight. You got DRS along this one as well, and you make your way towards the braking zone. Brake at the 100-meter mark, uphill braking zone, so you can brake a lot later than you expect, really, from braking from 8th gear all the way down into 2nd. Typically, it takes a bit longer than 100, but on the uphill, you can do it in 100 meters. Then now, going downhill, you can brake at the 80-meter mark here, and just hit the apex, carry as much speed as possible, run all the way out wide. The curbs do have sufficient grip, so the drivers can drive over the curbs there. And then through here, the curbs do also provide you grip, but these ones are so much more bouncy. The drivers have to be very careful. In quali, they'll bounce over them, but during the race, it's a little bit too risky. You do risk just putting so many vibrations through the car and shaking the car to bits, essentially. So we'll see what the drivers do in the race, but normally they back off the curbs a little bit, and they get told over the radio as well. They'll see some sensors start to fail because of... Yeah, they'll just see some sensors start to fail because of all of the vibrations, and then they'll be like, right, time to back off the curbs. Otherwise, it does become a big problem for the car. Okay. You spun in that corner 4 times today. Indeed, I have. Well, I mean, that's just when I replay the lap. But yeah, I'm not playing the lap while I'm. I'm not actually. That's not a live lap. It's a pre-recorded lap. If that wasn't obvious already. The merch site, the pit shop. Ooh, the pit shop. That is a pretty good idea, actually. I will see if that's been taken already, but thanks for the idea, Aximus. Predictions. Ooh, what, for free practice 2? I predict that we'll have more lockups, more drivers going straight on, a couple spins, but we will not get a red flag. Yeah. Ferrari upgrades work. We can't really tell. Hamilton was sat in the garage for too long with his gearbox issues, so we don't really know if the upgrades work just yet. They'll come out today, and well, you'll hear in the interviews afterwards. If Hamilton says the car feels better, then the upgrades work. If not, then not ideal. The weather for race day is looking totally dry. In fact, that was the only day of the whole weekend where we've got a 0% chance of rain. What else have we got to do then? You need to brake earlier for the last corner, accelerate sooner out, and carry the speed on to start finish straight. Yeah, you do. Well, I actually checked. I am on my time trial, on the time trial lap that I've got. I am top 2% in the world on my lap around Austria. Not the lap that I've recorded here. That's pretty slow, but my best lap time around Austria, top 2% in the world. So I'm quite proud of that, actually. I guess we'll see if I can replicate that success a little bit more often for the other tracks. But I think Austria is probably my best circuit out of all of the racetracks if I'm driving. Who's going to take pole position in FP2? Probably Piastri. Yeah, going to be a little bit boring, but is it going to rain this session? Most likely not. There is a thunderstorm warning out in Austria and Spielberg, basically saying that thunderstorms can form very quickly and very unexpectedly. We don't really know what's going to happen, but if I'm being totally honest, the sky doesn't look like it's going to turn into a thunderstorm anytime soon. Yeah. We got 30 minutes left till the start of the session, folks. Yeah. If Vettel joins, Red Bull is going to be a favourite team. I mean, if Vettel was driving, sure, but if Vettel's just an advisor, probably not. Yeah. Yuki was so fast in the first sector, he managed to disappoint in the next two sectors. Well, the thing is, if you look at the first sector, it's only one corner, right? Like, I'll show you on the track map. The first sector starts here. You're flat out down the straight. You go through turn number one, and then you're just flat all the way to the end of the first sector. So, Tsunoda did one corner well, and then through sector two, where you've got much more important corners, he's lost time. So, yeah. The sector one time is more so an indication of straight line speed and power, and then sector 2 and 3 are more indications. Well, sector 2 is more of an indication of medium speed and low speed performance, and sector 3 is more so an indication of high speed performance. It's quite nicely split up actually, Austria, in terms of the three sectors. Sector 1 power, sector 2 slow speed, sector 3 high speed. Alex Dunn is he was driving in Formula 2. He ended up qualifying in 7th position, but he's not taking part in Formula 1. He was just a rookie driver driving for FP1. First time in 4 years, I'm going to miss going to Silverstone and race this year. Absolutely gutted. Normally I get a paddock pass for free with work, but I can't make it this year. Oh, that is very unfortunate. Yeah. No, it's Silverstone, a pretty good race to go to, really. But actually, yeah, if you guys had the option to go to any circuit to watch a race at, which one would it be? I would probably still say, I think Belgium. Watching the cars go through Eau Rouge and Radion, that would be pretty cool. Admittedly, you're not really going to see many overtakes through Eau Rouge and Radion, but I still think that would be epic. Italy, yeah, Monza. If you're a Ferrari fan, of course, that's the easiest choice, isn't it? All right. Netherlands would be amazing. Oh yeah, Max Verstappen fan. Monaco as well. Yeah. I mean, of course, if you didn't have to pay for it, then Monaco would be amazing, wouldn't it? Would be so cool if Formula One also had an Indian Grand Prix. It's on the calendar. Yeah, it was on the calendar. I think the last race we had was back in 2013 in India, in Delhi, I think, and yeah, would be good to have it back on the calendar. And the same could be said for Hockenheim. It could be said for Istanbul, for Malaysia, for Korea. What other amazing tracks are we missing? I think if Formula One could race on a shorter version of Le Mans, then that would be pretty cool. What else? Portimao, the circuit in the Algarve in Portugal. It looks like Formula One's going back to South Korea in 2027. They're currently deciding which city to hold it in. Oh, that's pretty good, actually. Oh, yeah, Kailami. Kailami is being upgraded to FIA Grade 1 certification. So they're adding all of the safety systems and the big barriers and all of that stuff into Kailami. So it looks like in the future we're going to have either MotoGP or Formula One race at Kailami. The Nürburgring would be really good as well. Magny Cours would be fantastic. Yeah, there is so many different tracks that we could race at. Oh, the track is now used for car meets. Ooh, pretty good, pretty good. Okay, for sure, for sure. Okay, 9 minutes left on the clock, folks. Um, 9 minutes till we get underway for the start of free practice 2. Would love to see Sweden come back. Oh, actually, where did they race in Sweden? I do not. Well, yeah, I don't really recall there ever being a racetrack in Sweden. Brands Hatch as well. Yeah, I think Brands Hatch hasn't got that many overtaking opportunities, but still, it would be a pretty nice circuit. What are the upgrade packages for the teams? Well, we have got small tweaks for Red Bull and McLaren. They've got Red Bull have got small upgrades to the floor. McLaren have got small upgrades to their front suspension. Ferrari have got a new floor, and apart from that, we haven't got that many big upgrade packages for any of the other teams. Oh mate, it was amazing. I fist bumped all my heroes, track walk, garage walk. Oh wow, that is yeah, fantastic, isn't it? Would love to go to an F1 circuit. OMG, I'm dying at work right now. If it weren't for some F1 to keep me sane, Fridays are hard. Oh yeah, Fridays are pretty rough. But you know, you got the weekend ahead to look forward to with a nice break. So yeah, hopefully you can make it through the rest of Friday. Thanks for the donation again, Exoteric. All right. Been an F1 fan since 1995. I don't recall there being a race in Sweden. Yeah, I don't really remember one. Which team is strong in this circuit? I would go with Williams. Will be stronger than normal. Well, yeah, Williams are already pretty strong, so stronger than they normally are. Then McLaren will be good if the track temperatures are hot. They look to not be so hot because the clouds are out. Then we have George Russell doing pretty well, Max Verstappen also doing pretty well. So I don't really know. I can't tell you which team is going to be strong. If the track conditions do get hotter, McLaren will be good, but I don't really know. It's too hard to predict, really, when the drivers are so close together. I mean, this is the good thing, really. Back in, let's say, 2023, you could come into a weekend and you could just basically be sure that Verstappen was going to win the race. But you come into this weekend and, you know, you have pretty much no idea who's going to be doing well, who's going to be doing badly. And that's the beauty of Formula One, really. Oh, they raced in Sweden in the 70s. Oh, fair enough. Okay. I did not know that. What do you think about the initiative to bring Formula One races to Thailand? Well, why not? You know, I quite like Thai food, and would be pretty good to have more races out in Asia. We've got loads of races out in Europe. Anderstorp, often called the Scandinavian Raceway between 1973 and 1978. Ooh, interesting. Well, thanks for the information, folks. Bring back Imola. Imola, of course, great circuit to race at as well. But you know, we've listed so many good circuits. You should probably there could probably be a way to alternate races each year. You know, like you can have one in Spain, you can have one in Portugal the next year. Then you can have let's say, I don't know, two locations. Yeah, you could have one in Melbourne one year. You could have another one in Adelaide the next year. Loads of different opportunities. Oh, a car with a literal fan won in in Sweden. I remember that. There was, so you know how all of these cars have a floor and then a diffuser, of course, that generates all of the downforce. And the way that the floor sort of generates the downforce is by sucking the car in towards the ground. And what a team did, like I think back in the day, back in 1970, when this suction effect was first discovered, what they did was like, oh, we're just going to just stick a fan on the car. We're going to say that the fan is for engine cooling and driver cooling. And then this fan, all it does is it sucks even more air out of the floor, which generates an even more powerful suction effect and just sucks the car to the ground, give it loads more grip. but then they eventually cancelled. They eventually sort of pulled out of Formula One, and they got rid of that fan upgrade, quote unquote, because there was a problem that the fan was just blowing dust and dirt and stones into the drivers behind. So you're blasting along at 200 miles per hour, and then suddenly there's a fan in front of you from the driver ahead that's throwing rocks into your helmet. So on safety grounds, I think even the FIA didn't have to say anything. The team themselves sort of pulled it out. And I suspect if the teams didn't pull it out, the FIA would have told them to stop using the fan. Oh, whoops. Let me just block the adverts. Apologies there, folks. Brabham BT46. Fantastic. All right, here we are, folks. We are here in Austria with the C5s for the softs, the C4 for the mediums, the C3 for the hards, and we are 3 minutes away from the start of the session. Here in the Styrian Mountains, we've got blue sky. Well, we've got blue skies with some clouds dotted around here and there. Track temperature should be reasonably high. Right, let me get up the free practice 2 data. There we go. Okay, let me get rid of the free practice 1 off the screen. There we go. All right, free practice 2 data. I don't know why half of the drivers say that they've got question mark for tyres and the other drivers have got pink, but I'm sure the issues will resolve themselves. What happened with Lewis? Lewis had a gearbox issue. I don't know if there was a damage during transportation or something, but there was a gearbox issue on Lewis's car, and yeah, he was sat in the garage for a while. Okay. Let's see then. Yeah, we got 2,300 people tuned into live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in, folks. Hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. And yeah, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Would very much be appreciated. Okie dokes. What region/channel can we watch Formula 2 of FP2 via VPN? You join the Austrian VPN server and you Google ORF. The coverage is in German, so the commentary is in German. There's no way to change that, unfortunately. But what you can do is you mute the coverage and you just sync it up with my commentary, and you can still have the commentary and you can still have the coverage on as well. So yeah. What happened to Lewis is the question of the year. Oh yeah, I mean that could have been referring to his entire season. That could have been referring to his time at Mercedes last year as well. But yeah, the red mark is the start and end of sectors. So let me show you. This is, of course, the end of Sector 1, start of Sector 2, and then you've got Sector 2 here, which ends here, and then you've got Sector 3 to the start-finish line. So that is what the sectors are. This green dots here, this is the DRS detection point. So where the driver, so if you're within 1 second of the driver ahead of you here, then you'll have DRS through the next 2 straights. And then if they're within 1 second of the driver ahead of you here at the braking zone, then you'll have the DRS for the next straight. And this purple little dot here, which has slightly been cut off the screen, is the speed trap point where the driver's top speeds are being measured. All right, that is 0 on the clock, and the timer should now be ticking down, and we'll get the drivers making their way onto the circuit. All right. Yeah, there we go. First driver out onto track, Franco Colapinto. Very nicely done. And then we got Esteban Ocon behind him. Medium tyres for those drivers. Track temperature 37 degrees, air temperature 25 degrees, and humidity at 37%. All right. Um. Yeah, some drivers out on medium, some drivers out on hards. They'll be looking to do some long runs here because I think the race is will be held in similar sort of conditions. So free practice one, in fact, was yeah, free practice one was slightly hotter. This is now it's slightly cooler. So these are the conditions we're sort of expecting for the race, and the drivers now will be coming out probably on race fuel loads and on yeah, mediums and hards to get a feel for the conditions. Um, what else have we got? What other questions have we got here? Mm, what are your thoughts on iRacing? I've not never played iRacing actually. Um, yeah, I don't really have that much thoughts. I just know that it's quite expensive. So yeah, there's that. Bortoleto ended in P6 and FP1. How do you think he'll do this weekend? I think Bortoleto will do quite well, really. The Ferrari engines have been doing. I mean, the Saubers tend to actually reduce the downforce levels the most and have the best top speed. So maybe they'll be in for a shot. You know, Hulkenberg's been doing quite well recently, and Bortoleto is no slouch, to be honest, compared to Hulkenberg. So I think Bortoleto could definitely make it up into Q2. Q3 might be a bit more tough, but if he has a good race, plays his cards right, could end up in the top 10. Lancelot asks, F1 Gamer, beside university and commentating F1 races, what else you do? Just the typical stuff, really. You know, hang out with friends. Nothing really all that exciting. Now I've got my university holidays, so yeah, looking to potentially get a job over summer and relax. Maybe sort out my driving license and play some more electric guitar. Not too nothing all that interesting, to be honest. Yeah. Gasly goes 317 through the speed traps. He has got I think he got a toe coming down the straight, and he comes across the line 7 tenths quicker than his teammate. Wow. And Hulkenberg, though, up at the top, 107.386. Mm-hmm. You never write out Max. No, not really. I mean, Max really isn't that far off the championship if we're being totally honest here. He has got a lot of races still left to go, and yeah, Piastri's never been in a championship battle before. We know that he's very cool, calm, and collected, but a lot of drivers do crack under the pressure of a championship battle. So maybe that'll happen later down the season, and Verstappen, of course, vastly more experience than Piastri and Norris in terms of championship battles. All right. F1 gamer, instead of doing a job, can't you make money doing YouTube videos? Yeah, I probably could actually. I probably could make some YouTube videos. That might be a better idea. Oh, Antonelli does very good lap there, 106.2. Yeah. All right, he's 4 tenths quicker than Stroll, Piastri, and Norris as well. I don't know why it's showing a lot of drivers have question mark tyres. Clearly, the FIA just cannot sort their systems out. So apologies for that. Yeah, I was actually thinking of making a couple of videos. I was definitely going to make one video at least comparing, well, not comparing, sort of just explaining the difference between oversteer and understeer, and then another video explaining the difference between dirty air and a slipstream, because I get asked that question so many times every race weekend. Like, obviously, I'm fine to answer it, but I think a little bit more of an in-depth video might be handy. Yeah, and I guess if I make merch and the merch, and you guys, loads of you guys buy merch, then I probably wouldn't have to get a summer job. But I guess we'll see. What do you play on the electric guitar? I don't know. I mean, just whatever really. I've probably gonna try to learn House of the Rising Sun. Play that riff at the start. It's really nice. But I don't know. I can play Star Wars. Um, Yeah, it's been a while, to be honest. Ooh, George Russell into second position there, just behind his teammate. The Mercedes seem to be doing so well, really, out of nowhere. To be honest, they did have one good upgrade package, which I must say was really good on their part. Mercedes have a not have a habit in the past couple of years with the new regulations. They haven't always been able to get these upgrade packages dialed in quickly, but they brought an upgrade package, and then that weekend or the next weekend they were right there extracting as much performance as they could from the upgrade package. So they've made some really good steps of improvement there, and they should be able to potentially score a podium again. Winner and loser after race. Yeah, I mean, I could do race predictions, I could do race reactions, I could do winner and losers. Like, there's loads of different opportunities of videos to make. Just have to see what I can actually make well. Norris with purples. Yeah, Norris with purples. I mean, is he? Oh, yeah. Piastri will set a purple lap, of course, 106.1. And Norris will be not too far off. He'll be in 7th position as of now, but he's on a reasonably quick lap by the looks of it. Oh, no, he's backed out of it. Must have made a mistake. Why is Lawson still in the pits? I don't know. I think Lawson had some sort of issue on the install lap because he just did an out lap and an in lap and then just came into the pits, and he was driving extremely slowly as well. So I think Lawson has some issue, and that's why he sat in the pits. And Verstappen and Tsunoda just sat in the pits because I guess they don't feel the need to go out onto the track. Yeah, their run plan must just be different. They're waiting for the track to get cleaned up a little bit more and rub it in a little bit more as well. Oh, steering wheel pulling right. Okay, makes sense. Ooh, Albon, yeah, has a little bit of a moment of oversteer as he hits the apex of turn number 2, and that is something that's very common. We've seen this happen loads of times, and in fact, the Formula One games actually simulate it quite accurately as well. Oh, Norris purple through the first sector. I'll just explain it once Norris finishes his lap. I'll give you a quick rundown of the issues that the drivers face down at turn number 2. Um. Yeah, just the last two corners left to go. The Rindt corner, named after Jochen Rindt, who won the Formula One World Championship in 1970 after he died as well. The only driver to be posthumously declared world champion. Yeah. Norris comes across the line, first place, 2/10 quicker than Oscar Piastri. Nicely done. Purple in the first sector, green in sector 2 and 3. Okay, so, it's turn number 3. I don't know why I keep calling it turn... Well, I know why I keep calling it turn number 2, because turn number 2 isn't a real corner. But, yeah, so let me just skip forward. We'll go... Yeah, so you're coming now towards turn number 2 here, and you get onto the brakes, and you hit this apex. Okay, so as you're turning into the apex here, there's a very sort of steep shift in the gradient at the apex is quite steep. Like the whole corner is uphill, and exactly at the apex, the gradient is sharpest. So when you're turning through the corner, if you hit the apex perfectly, like here I've missed the apex, but if you hit the apex perfectly, then what happens is the car gets unsettled as you're sort of going over this crest, and then when you try to get onto the power on the exit turn number 3, you actually get the rear starts sliding about, dancing about when you aren't even putting that much power down because it's already unsettled, and it's quite a big problem. So the ideal line is to actually avoid the apex just ever so slightly. Don't want to touch the curbs, go slightly wider, and you don't lose as much time. Yeah, after he died. He died at the Italian Grand Prix that year, and then went on to still be world champion because he just won. He had just won that many points and races up until that point. Leslie, yeah, F1 Gamer, maybe create a website with ads for your sponsors, merch page, FAQ, pre-race news, links to authorized streams, and boots the TikTok thieves. Yeah, I mean that's actually a pretty good idea. I think the merch first, and then merch, and then some pre-race news, and then authorized streams. Yeah, all really good ideas actually. I will download all of these chat messages so I can look so I can look at them later. All right, let me take you through the rest of this lap. Now you're downhill braking for turn number 3, and if you lock up, you go straight off into the gravel. There's a little bit of an escape road as you can see on the left-hand side, but otherwise you're off into the gravel, and yeah, it's quite a costly mistake actually. So the drivers going through turn number 3 here, they are just looking to carry as much speed as possible. You're going through third gear and onto the power as early as you can, over the curbs, because the curbs actually have a reasonable amount of grip on the exit of turn 4. Then through turn number 6 you go through here, and over these curbs bounce as much as you want. On a quali lap on the race though, don't bounce over them, otherwise you do risk damaging your car. Don't exceed track limits like I just did there. And then you've got the final 2 corners. Downshift, flick the car to the right, back onto the power, and then here, again, just smoothly through that corner. Don't touch the yellow curb on the inside, it will unsettle you and put you into a spin. But that is a lap around Austria, folks. Norris is stopped. Is Norris stopped on the track? I don't know what's going on there. Maybe he's in the pits and his GPS is broken. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's driving the wrong way. I much more likely think that his GPS is broken. Yeah, in fact, he's currently... actually, yeah, his GPS is broken. Or he's in the middle sector, apparently. Lewis is really struggling. Yeah, I mean, maybe this upgrade package hasn't been so good for him because maybe the upgrade package is more like a downgrade package because he is down in 15th position while his teammate Charles Leclerc is up in 6th. Albon improves up into 4th place. Good job there from Alex Albon. Yeah. Why aren't F1 tracks longer? They're also short. I think it's partially to do with the logistics. The longer the circuit, the more marshals and stuff that you need, the more timing panels, the more barriers and more things like that, more tech pro. So it's more expensive, which of course nobody likes. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't think there are that many super long racetracks if you look at it. Like, yes, there's the Nürburgring, yes, there's Le Mans, but if you look past that, how many super duper long racetracks even are there now? I don't think there are that many really long racetracks. Austria is one of the shortest. Like, in terms of lap time, it's in fact the shortest circuit that we have on the calendar. But yeah, most racetracks are not that big as a whole. Oh my god, a huge radio message to Verstappen. Verstappen's currently just out onto the track now. It looks like he's on a push lap, so we'll see what he can do. He's got a nice clear track ahead of him as he goes up the hill towards turn number 3, braking super duper late. And Verstappen actually taking the full curb. He goes all over the curb, and the Red Bull doesn't seem to get unsettled. A couple other cars, though, I guess it depends on your setup and your suspension settings and damper settings and stuff like that. But some cars can take the curb at turn 3, some can't. And then you run all the way out wide at turn 4. Yeah, pretty good going from Max Verstappen. He's in, by the looks of it, 5th gear, 6th gear as he goes through turns number 6 and 7. Now flat up the hill towards turn number 9 and 10. A little bit of the brake. Yeah, I mean, he's not pushing that hard. He's pressing the brake quite a bit. He's nowhere near quali levels of pushing. And still, 2nd place for him. I mean, none of the drivers are near quali levels of pushing. The lap times are 2 seconds off Lash's pole time. So, yeah, that's why or not even 2 seconds really. They're only 1.2 seconds off last year's pole time. But regardless, the drivers still do have a lot more left to give. Charles Leclerc running wide at turn number 5 there. I think he had a snap of oversteer as he was going through there. Goes off onto the gravel, but makes his way back onto the circuit, rejoins safely, and gets out of the way of Oscar Piastri, I think. Yeah, nicely done. Okay, and yeah, Verstappen splitting the two McLarens. Lando Norris is back driving in free practice too, and he's back up at the top of the field as well. Austria is 4.3 kilometers now, was 5.9 in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, it used to be called something else. It used to be called the A1 ring, no? Back in the 70s and 80s, and now it's called the Red Bull ring, or. But yeah, I think that's when it used to be a little bit longer, and then they shortened it. Yeah, Charles Leclerc overall just a bit of a messy lap from him, going deep into turn number 2, I think, and then off into a bit of twitch of oversteer as he goes through turn number 5, and yeah, off onto the gravel he goes. McLaren super fast in the last sector. Yeah, they're really good in the high speed. In fact, Alex Dunn, who is a rookie from Formula 2, he was driving in free practice 1 in place of Lando Norris, and he was the quickest driver through all of the high speed corners, which is, well, very good going from the rookie, but also very good going from McLaren. They've designed such a car that a rookie can just get into it, and they can drive, and they can go quickest in the high-speed corners. Like that's the confidence that the car inspires, which the Red Bull car most certainly doesn't. And the Ferrari as well. Hamilton has been struggling with the high speed corners so much, and in that Ferrari haven't been able to develop a car that just a rookie can hop into and be confident in the high speed. But McLaren have, which is very very beneficial for them. Otherwise, well, that's why they have two drivers. Norris is just teleported off the map again. But yeah, that's why McLaren have two drivers that can deliver consistent results weekend in, weekend out, because their car is actually drivable. Whereas Red Bull, not so much. Ferrari, also not really so much. Yeah. Sometimes the tire info comes through, sometimes it doesn't. Nothing F1 Gamer can do about it. Yeah, unfortunately I can't, folks. I could give it a quick refresh, but that's going to make the screen go blank for about a minute, which I don't think anyone really wants to see happen. So, yeah, once the drivers come into the pits, they change tyres. That should resolve these issues. But George Russell, first driver to come out on a fresh set of soft tyres. We are 20 minutes into the session. 41 minutes left of the session, and shouldn't be too bad. We'll see what he can do on a fresh set of softs. Max Verstappen is also out on a fresh set of soft tyres. We can't see that, of course, because he's got a mystery question mark next to his name, but he's out on a set of softs. And the top speeds have increased here, folks. The quickest top speeds that we were seeing in FP1 were 311 kilometers per hour, and the teams have either reduced the downforce levels or they've turned up the engine mode, and yeah, now we're going up to 317 k's. Good to see. Charles Leclerc across the line improves up into 5th place there. Looking good there from Charles Leclerc. And the upgrades seem to have made a bit of a difference, I guess. Normally Hamilton is a little bit back from Charles Leclerc, but now he is right on par with him. So I guess the upgrades have worked. Austria's Tana. What about Singapore? I mean, Singapore in terms of the actual distribution of the circuit, like from how much area it occupies, I think Singapore is a smaller circuit, but Singapore goes back on itself a lot. Like it's very windy and twisty and turny. You got loads of left, right, whereas Austria is sort of all spread out, all of the corners, and that's why, albeit it may be a bigger track, it's not a longer track. Okay. And George Russell purple in the first and second sectors. 313 k's through the speed traps, that's without a tow, and it comes out of the final corner well within track limits, opens that DRS lap across the line. Second place for George, 34 milliseconds back from Lando Norris, and Norris did his lap on a set of on mediums, and Russell's here out on a set of softs, so not all that amazing from the Merc team. They've still got a little bit more pace to improve. The softs this weekend are around 3/10 quicker than the medium tyres, so we'll see. Maybe there's some more work to do for George Russell. Maybe McLaren's are just that much further ahead. Ooh, Lando Norris had to take a little bit of avoiding action. Again, Lando Norris picks the side of the track with the least space available. I mean, like, Lando Norris did this last weekend out in Canada, and again, he's just done that. And Verstappen just comes over the radio saying, "What the hell? He just drives on the left." Yeah, I don't know what Norris is doing. I mean, I'll just show you sort of what's going on here. I'll show you on the onboard. So Norris is coming down this straight, right? So Verstappen is... Okay, yeah, so actually, no, this is a little bit inaccurate. So over on the left-hand side. Okay, so as you can see here, this is sort of where Verstappen is positioned on the track. Maybe let's go like 1 second behind. Okay, so Verstappen is positioned sort of on the left-hand side of the track here. Yeah, just about here. So there's a lot more space on the right-hand side than there is on the left-hand side. But Lando Norris, for whatever reason, just chooses to go to the left-hand side to overtake Verstappen rather than the outside and then the right-hand side. And he did the exact same thing in Canada. Like, I mean, I wouldn't have pointed it out. It would have just been, oh, that was a little odd if he didn't make his mistake in Canada. But he's just gone and done the same thing. Yeah. No, Lando Norris is still in first. Like, his lap time is still the fastest out of anyone. It's just that he's driving a little strangely. Alright, we've had a couple more drivers improve. So we had Antonelli up into 5th, Leclerc up into 6th. Yeah, pretty good going from those two drivers. We got Sainz and Hadjar out on fresh sets of softs, and looks good so far. Yeah. The British instincts of driving on the left, maybe is that. Who knows? Did they fix Lewis's gearbox? Indeed, they did. So no sort of issues there for Lewis anymore. His gearbox has been fixed, and he'll be taking part in the rest of the weekend as normal. F1 Gamer is his GPS, or I think Norris's GPS is just broken. It says that he's in the pits, but he was previously out on track. Yeah, before it was Russell's GPS, now it's Norris's GPS. Is the one stop or the two stop better in Austria? I think it's going to be a two stop actually. The teams are experimenting out with the softs and the mediums and the hards, all three of them. And typically we only see them do that when there is a chance for a two stop. Normally, if it's just a one stop race, then the drivers won't be coming out on softs so early, and they'll just be doing medium and hard tyre running. But yeah. Alright. Is it C6 or C5? It is the C5 tyres this weekend. So we haven't got the softest of Pirelli's range, just the C5s. It's the C5s for the soft tyres. The name of the Austrian website is ORF. Folks, if you guys are interested in watching Formula One coverage for only $2 a month, rather than paying, $30, $40, whatever it is, then what you can do is you can get Surfshark VPN, then you join an Austrian VPN server, and you go onto Google, you search ORF, O for Oscar, R for Race, F for Ferrari. You log in, you make an account, and you can watch Formula One. You can watch it. The commentary, however, is in German, so you can't listen to it unless you, of course, understand German. And yeah, if you don't understand German, you can always just mute the coverage, mute the German coverage, and play my coverage on top. And that way, you get the coverage and the commentary. So yeah, it's a win-win situation. You guys still watch my channel, and you also get to watch the coverage. Yeah, so if you guys are interested, go ahead and check that out. We've got around 400 or so people using this method on the channel, so it does work. And if for whatever reason it doesn't work, you can always get a refund. Yeah, not much else to add on top of that, really. Check it out if you're interested. There's a link in the description to Surfshark VPN. And this method works every single race weekend. It's not just because we're in the Austrian Grand Prix, the Austrian VPN works. It works in all of the Grand Prix weekends. Yeah. Oh, that's a fire alarm going off in my house. That is, well, no, it's not on fire. That is probably from the shower. So I'll get that turned off. Give me a sec. Yeah, there we go. I've turned off the fire alarm and I've confirmed there is no fire. Yeah. All right. We've got just to reiterate, we've got Lewis Hamilton. Why is it just turned on again? Give me a sec, folks. All right. So here we go then. Yeah, it's probably changing the battery. That's the problem. Okay. Apologies for the little disruption there, folks. Thanks everyone for sticking along. Yeah, just to reiterate, Hamilton has got the upgraded car. Charles Leclerc does not. That they're testing it out for today, so Hamilton's going to have the upgraded version. Leclerc's not. They're going to compare the data overnight, and then they're going to fit the upgrades most likely to Charles Leclerc's car tomorrow. Okie dokes. Yeah. Hadjar, purple in the middle sector, really good there. And the middle sector, you can't really gain that much lap time by getting a toe as well. So outright pace there from Isaac Hadjar, looking fantastic, but then boxed into the pits. So yeah, clearly made a mistake in the final sector and then had to just box. Must be the battery. Indeed, it does. House on fire keeps on commentating. Of course, of course. Got to respect the grind, really. Antonelli, 319 Ks through the speed trap, so he clearly got a toe. We've got Piastri, purple through the first sector, looking good. Ocon improves up into 5th position. Fantastic job there from Esteban Ocon. We got Gasly across the line, 6th place for him. Yeah, Antonelli improves up into 3rd. We got Stroll starting a flying lap. Lewis Hamilton improves up into 3rd. Clearly those upgrades are working, ladies and gentlemen. Ferrari may be back. I'm not going to say Ferrari are back because the Ferrari fans are delusional enough to consider that for themselves. But Piastri improves up into 1st place. Oh my god, half a second clear. What a lap from Oscar Piastri. We'll see what Lando Norris has got to reply, but he's got a purple 1st sector, purple 2nd sector. He goes marginally quicker in the 1st sector, ever so slightly quicker in the 2nd sector as well. As long as he can hold it together now in the final sector, he's going to end up a 10th and a bit quicker than his teammate. Here comes Lando Norris. Taps the brakes. He's still pushing pretty hard, to be fair. A lot harder than Verstappen was on his previous lap. Here he comes across the line, and he is a 10th and a half clear of Oscar Piastri. Nicely done from Lando Norris. Fantastic, yeah. He is a 10th and a half ahead. So, wow. Look at that gap, 2nd to 3rd, half a second. Stroll just fits that gap. Stroll reduces the gap. So clearly Aston Martin are back. Yeah, Aston Martin for the podium. Let's see what Fernando Alonso can do. He is... in fact, he's 6/10 back from Lance Stroll. I don't know how that has happened, how Lance Stroll has just managed to go so much quicker, but Stroll's in P3. Lando Norris was purple in all 3 sectors, though, and incredible lap from the driver. He's looking to bounce back, really, after a bad weekend out in Canada, losing a significant chunk of points to his teammate. He has got a lot of work to do if he wants to stay in this championship fight. I mean, he's already in the championship fight, but if he doesn't want to let it run away from him, then he's got some hard work to do. Okay. And we got Tsunoda starting a flying lap now. Alonso dives into the pits. Isaac Hadjar, I think he's going to, yeah. Hadjar's going to take another attempt at his lap now, so we'll see what he can do with a... Will he be able to set another purple middle sector or not? Okay. Yeah, just Verstappen and Colapinto left on medium tyres. Once they come out of the pits on a fresh set, it should be fine. I mean, Colapinto's just come out of the pits now, but... Oh, there we go. Soft set of tyres for Colapinto, so Verstappen the only driver left now. Once he comes out onto the circuit, we'll find out what tyres he's on. We've got 7,000 people watching. Thanks everyone for tuning in and enjoying, for liking the stream and everything. Very much is appreciated. If you guys enjoy the coverage, then I will be commentating for the qualifying session tomorrow and the FP3 session tomorrow as well. So be sure to hit the like button. It really does help out the channel. Hopefully, I can see you guys around for the coverage then. All right, Tsunoda across the line into fifth position. Really good lap there from Yuki Tsunoda. He's 7/10 off the back of Norris. Of course, still big gap to make up, but regardless, pretty nice lap. And then Hadjar also improves up into 8th position. So we've got Tsunoda ahead of Hadjar, which is what you would expect considering Tsunoda's in the Red Bull. Okay. All right, folks. Also, a little correction from what I said earlier. Earlier in the FP1 stream, the fastest lap ever recorded at the Red Bull Ring, a 1 minute 02.939 by Valtteri Bottas in 2020. So that's the quickest lap we've ever had around Austria. A 102.9. Last year's pole 104.3, so still a ways off the quickest lap ever recorded, and that was by Valtteri Bottas himself. The W11 be like exactly the W11, so much grip. I mean, literally, it could be the definition of grip. If you go into a dictionary and you look up the word grip, the W11 should be there in the synonyms and the related words. Yeah. All right. What else have we got going on then? Verstappen still sat in the pits, not coming out to do another hot lap. Okay, 7,000 people tuning into the live stream. Lando Norris is on another purple lap, again on a used set of tyres as well. Purple in the first sector. Let's see what his middle sector is going to be like. Verstappen comes out of the pits now, nicely done. So he's out on a fresh set. We'll see what Verstappen can do and if he can chase down these McLarens. They are so far ahead of the rest of the competition by the looks of it. All right, and then we've got Gasly across the line. That is 9th place for Pierre Gasly. Also, folks, I would like to ask you a question. Let's see, what was I going to ask? Oh yeah, this. The fastest sectors. These sectors here that you can see that I'm moving about. Would you prefer if I had these only in practice and in quali, and then in the race I got rid of them and just had more team radio messages up on the screen, because I think the fastest sectors are important in, say, practice and in quali, when you can like sort of compare what the drivers are doing. Is the track getting quicker? Is the track getting slower? But maybe in the race, would you guys prefer to have a like more team radios rather than these fastest sectors? Okay, we're getting a lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people saying yes. It's not. Yeah, I don't think it's that important for the race, so I think that's why it might be better to get rid of them. I will. Actually, I could just create a poll, couldn't I? Let me just create a poll. Let me just. I'm just typing it out now. Fastest sectors during race, and then I guess democracy shall decide. All right, 24 minutes left on the clock here, folks, and we've got Verstappen on a flying lap. Norris here comes across the line and, yeah, backed out of his lap, didn't improve. So that was the end of that one. Verstappen improves only 7th place. In fact, he's behind Sonoda. How has this happened? I have no idea. But, yeah. Oh no, we definitely don't have the mini sectors for the race. There are two different configurations. You see, there's a race configuration here, and there's a quali. With the race configuration, you get to see all the tire strategies, which tires the drivers are using, and who's using DRS and who's not. And then in the quali configuration, you get more of the information about each individual lap. And yeah, essentially, that's we have two different setups. Oh, it's 50-50 here. 48% of people think yes, 52% of people think no. I guess well, I think since it's 50-50, we'll just keep it the way it is. Bit unfortunate though. Half the people don't prefer it, but I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest, overall. All right, we got Bortoleto here on a quick lap. Apart from that, everyone else is, by the looks of it, warming up their tyres, or they're going back into the pits. Yeah, I mean, I would prefer to have the team radius bigger. I mean, this is the other thing. Here in Austria, the track map takes up a lot of space. Bortoleto across the line. Great lap from him. 8th position. He's only a little bit back from Verstappen. So, very good job there from Bortoleto. And Red Bull have got a lot of work to do overnight on the simulator. Their test driver is going to be working, working all night, trying to get the best setup. But typically, typically the racetrack takes up a little bit less space, and then we have loads of team radios up on the screen as well, so it's not so much an issue. Um, but I guess we'll see. First past the post, CG 50 plus one. Yeah, I mean I think we'll just keep it. We'll keep it as it is. Or I guess if it's 50-50, I could technically decide what I prefer because I sort of run the channel. But I'll have a think about it. So here we go then. 22 minutes left on the clock, and a lot of drivers out on soft still. We've got Piastri out on 8-lap-old soft. So's Stroll. So's Russell. Yeah. Norris and Piastri have different suspensions. Piastri got the old one, Norris got the new one, both by choice. F1 Gamer. I think so. I think that is. I think that's what it is because. I think Norris was having some issues with getting to grips with the car, and he couldn't exactly feel what the car was doing. And then they've modified the suspension for Lando Norris, or at least they've taken Lando Norris's feedback on board and tried to incorporate that into the next design. So Norris has taken the upgrade for the suspension, and I think Piastri also has taken the upgrade for the suspension because they have they were they had Flovis on Piastri's car, so that would have that suggests that they'll have the upgrade package on his car as well. I think though the upgrade package was sort of the reason why they brought a suspension upgrade was because Norris was complaining. I think both drivers have taken the upgrade package, but the driver sort of asking for the upgrade on the suspension was Lando Norris. Yeah. Just take the P2 column off and keep P1. More radio real estate and retain sector times. Yeah, yeah, I could do that. I don't know. I'll have a think. Okay, we got Stroll coming out on a set of hard tires now, and yeah, they're looking now to do race runs. To be honest, there's not much else to do. In fact, I'll take you through a lap of the circuit while we've got a little bit of a downturn in the action. Um, here we Go. All right, so you come out of the final corner. If you touch that inside curb, you will spin. Example A. I haven't driven the Formula One game in about 3 months, and I was trying to record a lap yesterday, and I can tell you it was quite frustrating just spinning on all of the curbs. I mean, that's kind of like the F121. Like the handling model, like if you touch some of these curbs, you will just spin. Oh, Verstappen, good lap from him up into third place. But if you hit the curbs nicely, aren't on the power too much, then you can get away with it. And to be fair, it's pretty accurate to real life. These cars are set up with such stiff suspensions that if you do hit the curbs too harshly and in the wrong way, you will get thrown off and you will spin. So, fair enough. You get on the power up the hill now towards turn number 3. This is the highest point of the circuit, turn number 3, I think. And then you go downhill for turn number 4. Hit this apex nicely. Down the hill you go towards turn number 6 and 7. Tap the brakes, and this corner, actually, let me just rewind a little bit and I'll explain it a little bit more thoroughly. So yeah, you come down the hill here, you're just accelerating flat towards this corner, and it's very, very tricky, this corner, because ideally what you want to do is brake earlier. You want to brake ever so slightly earlier than you would typically think, because yes, theoretically, you could brake, say, at the end of this curb, but what you want to actually do is brake a little bit earlier so the car is stable when you actually turn in. So you're sort of slow in, fast out, which is a typical thing in racing. But the other thing is you're going to brake earlier than you typically do to make sure the car is stable. Because when you hit the brakes, like if in any road car, if you hit the brakes suddenly, the whole car sort of leans forward, you lean forward, and then the seatbelts start holding you back, right? A very similar thing happens to Formula One cars. If you slam on the brakes, the car starts leaning forward, and that is not perfect for the aerodynamics of the car. The aerodynamics team on the car wants it to be perfectly flat. They don't want it to be tilting forward. They don't want it to be tilting back. So going through this corner, it's actually better to come onto the brakes earlier and then have a smooth entry into the corner. Just one smooth steering input, and the same thing for the next corner. Just one smooth steering input. Slowly wind off the steering, because you want to minimize the upset for the aero of the car, for the front wing, for the rear wing, for the diffuser, and all of that stuff. Yeah, it's quite interesting. I think Nico Rosberg mentioned it at some point in, I think, one of his videos many, many years ago. But the cars are designed to be they generate the most downforce when they're perfectly flat. And it's then your job as a driver to try to make sure the car is flat when you're going through these high-speed corners. Yeah. So then you got these final 2 corners here. Again, what now going through here, it's not so much about overall downforce, it's about getting this turn in as best as you possibly can. So what you do, you tap on the brakes and then the car lurches forward. That increases the amount of grip on the front tires, and then you flick the car to the right. So you have extra load on your front tires, and then you can turn in, and that gives you that extra little bit of turn in that you need to make this corner and stay within track limits. And then for the same for this corner actually, when you're like all of these drivers here, they're of course sat much lower down than this camera on my onboard lap, and what that means is that they can't see the apex of this corner. The track sort of drops away super quickly, and the drivers have to drive off reference points, make sure to miss the inside curb, because if you touch that, then you will spin. And then the other thing, on the exit of this corner, you're getting dragged out further and further wide. I mean, over the course of this lap, your tyres have started to overheat, and this is the last corner, like the hottest the tyres they'll ever be. They're trying to pull you wide, but you've got to stay within track limits. And thankfully, as you drop onto this part of the circuit, like you go down the hill, this part of the circuit has loads of grip, so you can just go full onto the power and not worry too much. And yeah, that's a lap of the Austrian Grand Prix circuit, folks. It's quite a short lap, but extremely technical. And I would say it has the best chances of overtaking. If you look at, there are a couple of real overtaking zones, but in pretty much every single corner on the circuit, we've seen overtakes happen. At turn 1, you've seen overtakes happen. Turn 2 is just a kink in the road. Turn 3, definitely you've seen overtakes. Turn 4 as well. Turn 5 is a kink in the road. Turn 6, turn 7, definitely seen overtakes there. And 8's a kink in the road. 9 and 10, a little bit harder to overtake. But in the wet conditions, we've also seen overtakes there as well. Okay. In terms of what's going on the circuit, not that much, as you can see. We got a McLaren 1-2 with Verstappen in third place, Stroll in fourth, surprisingly enough. Lots of pace there from Aston Martin. Then we have got Charles Leclerc in fifth position, George Russell in sixth, Tsunoda in seventh, Bortoletto in eighth. Really good job from him. And considering his teammate Nico Hülkenberg is down in 19th, a very, very good lap from Bortoletto on his fresh sets of softs when he did that a couple of minutes ago. We got Alonso in ninth. He's quite a ways back off Stroll, which is a bit unexpected, but we'll see what happens. Hamilton in 10th. Then we've got Antonelli in 11th, Lawson in 12th, Hadjar in 13th, Gasly in 14th, Ocon in 15th, Albon in 16th, Sainz in 17th, Behrman 18th, Hülkenberg 19th, Colapinto 20th. Yeah, I would have expected Albon and Sainz to be a little bit higher up, considering the Williams is pretty good at power-sensitive circuits, but here, for whatever reason, not doing so well. Any chance of rain for the race? So the forecast says 0% chance of rain. However, the forecast also does say thunderstorms can form unexpectedly and they can be super severe, and we can't predict them as accurately as we would like to. So yeah, take of that what you will. But the forecast, when I checked this morning, it said 0% chance of rain on Sunday. So I guess we'll see on Saturday morning or Sunday morning. What do you think of Alex Dunn today? I mean, Alex Dunn did a brilliant job. Stepped into that car and delivered a really good lap. And yeah, no mistakes, nothing glaringly bad. And, props to McLaren as well, also making a car that is so drivable, a rookie can just get in and do well. I'm sure Alex Dunn will have done a lot of time in the simulator beforehand. But, the same can be said for Piastri, Norris, Antonelli, all of the rookies. They've had a load of time in the simulator, but still they don't manage to put out such good laps. Thing is, though, it was free practice, and the lap times that we were looking at were still 2 seconds off quali times. So take of that what you will. But a very good showing from Alex Dunn, and things look bright for him in the future. Okay. Heard all sorts of regarding the weather, hail, flooding, down trees. Yeah, yesterday it rained so heavily. Just a huge thunderstorm in the Styrian Hills yesterday, and today totally dry. The track has got pretty good drainage, and all of the water drained away, and the track is dry as expected. Yeah. Also, folks, if you haven't hit the like button, please be sure to do so. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to do that as well. I hope you guys are enjoying the coverage. Look forward to commentating to you guys for the Free Practice 3 tomorrow and Quali as well. Can Verstappen get pole? I mean, theoretically, yes. Question is, well, their setup's probably going to improve. They've still got a little bit more margin to go, I think, on improving their setup to Red Bull do. And I don't know about McLaren. So Red Bull have brought upgrades this weekend. So have McLaren. McLaren's are suspension upgrades. Red Bull are floor upgrades. I guess we'll see which team comes out on top. But Verstappen has got 5 wins here at the Red Bull Ring. McLaren as a team in total have got 6 wins in Austria. And Verstappen alone himself has got 5 wins. So, he's pretty good around this circuit. And maybe he'll end up on pole. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, that's another interesting stat. I think Williams, Ferrari, and McLaren, all 3 of them have 6 wins at the Austrian Grand Prix, or at a race in Austria. It's probably this circuit. I don't know if there's another racetrack in Austria. But Red Bull, who it's called the Red Bull Ring, they've only got 5 wins, and each one of those wins has come from the hands of Max Verstappen. So maybe it'll be win number 6 for Max Verstappen, and then there'll be 6 wins for Red Bull, McLaren, Williams, and Ferrari. Alonso comes over the radio, too much bouncing, and it is just another issue. You know, we've seen you do want to run the car as low as possible, but the surface isn't the smoothest, and you do get the porpoising, creating issues as well. Max Verstappen had pole last year, 1 minute 4.314. And look at this, Lando Norris, 1 minute 4.580. So he's, 2/10 off last year's pole, and it's only free practice 2. So maybe this year we'll beat Valtteri Bottas's lap record. The lap record is a 102.9. Yeah. Yeah, Verstappen's definitely got his work cut out for him. I mean, he's quite a few points behind Piastri in the championship as well, actually. I think I might be able to pull the championship up. Let's see. Championship. Oh, I guess the championships isn't showing up, but I can just read out the points of the championship. I think there's a 22-point gap between... There's a 22-point gap between Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. Let me just read out. Yeah, so 198 points are for Oscar Piastri, 176 for Lando Norris, and 155 for Max Verstappen. So that is a 43-point gap for Verstappen to Piastri, and it's a 22-point gap from Norris to Piastri. So, you know, Piastri's got a nice margin, but it's not really that big. You know, 1 DNF and that evaporates to nothing. So he has still got to be at the top of his game, and honestly, he has been so consistent. Also, Piastri joins the list of 4 drivers now that have won 3 consecutive races back to back in the turbo hybrid era. I think Hamilton, Nico Rosberg, and Verstappen are 3 drivers that have won 3 races back to back in the turbo hybrid era, And yeah, Oscar Piastri has joined that list this year after he got consecutive wins in the... he got a win in China, and then... Wait, I have... Yeah, he got a win in... He got a win... Oh, no, sorry. 3 consecutive wins in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, and Miami. Yeah. Pretty good going, really, from Oscar. Things are looking good for him. Actually, I would also like to bring up the fact that I think a couple of weeks ago, I think maybe 4 or 5 races ago, I did do a poll on my channel on who you thought was winning the World Championship, and I'll just read out the results of the poll. This must have been after a couple of... Yeah, I think this was after the Japanese Grand Prix. 42% of people thought Verstappen was going to win. 26% of people thought Norris was going to win. 12% of people thought Piastri was going to win. And 20% of people thought Nicholas Latifi was going to win. So, you know, things have changed drastically from the Japanese Grand Prix. I think if I was to do that poll again, then, yeah, Piastri's numbers go up so much. $14 races to go, which is a full 15 races. Yeah, I mean, yeah, back in the day, we've still got an entire season left of racing. It's pretty good, pretty good. All right, 6 minutes left on the clock here, folks, and nobody is doing quali laps. Everyone's doing long runs. If we have a look at the lap times, we have got 4 drivers in the 1 minute 9s. We've got Norris, Verstappen, Stroll, and Leclerc. Those 4 drivers are in the 1 minute 9s. Everyone else is in the 1 minute 10s. And Nico Hülkenberg is in the 1 minute 11s after I think he made a mistake on the previous lap. But yeah, some pretty good pace there from Stroll. He's still managing to stay ahead of Fernando Alonso. Of course, Alonso is complaining with the porpoising and the bouncing issues, but yeah, they'll get that worked out soon enough. Okay. Yeah, 5 minutes left on the clock, folks. Folks, if you have any questions, be sure to let me know. The chat isn't too busy today, so I should be able to answer them in the final 5 minutes of the session. And if any of you didn't watch the FP1 stream, this is a design for some merch that I came up with. Let me know what you think. Oh, apologies for the little freeze there. Let me make sure that doesn't happen again. Okay. Yeah, this is the design for the merch that I've come up with. Let me know what you think. The people that were watching FP1 have already seen this. But yeah, there's a little parental advisory content in the bottom left, which I thought was really cool at the time of making, but it's probably should remove that. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. 4 minutes left on the clock, and everyone's doing race runs. Again, medium tyres is the tyre of choice by the looks of it, but a couple of other drivers are experimenting on the hards because there is a potential for the hard tyres to be used. It depends on track temperature as well. If it is a sunny day on Sunday and there's no clouds in the sky, then the hard tyres will look like a much more interesting option. If it's slightly cooler, then the medium tyres will be a much better choice. Verstappen saying struggling a lot with the front now, and yeah, they've just said understood. So yeah, Verstappen's just now dipped up into the 1.10, and in fact, Verstappen goes 1 millisecond slower than Stroll on the previous lap. Both drivers doing long runs, but 1 millisecond slower was Verstappen. And either way, yeah, Verstappen. They'll do some setup changes to modify the levels of grip on the car, maybe add some front wing angle to help him out for the front grip. F1 Gamer, who do you think is going to win the championship? I think it's going to be Piastri, but I don't really know. Yeah. Has Vettel ever won in Austria? I don't think Vettel has, because when he was winning all of his championships, I don't think they raced in Austria. I think between 2004 and 2013 or something, there was like a set of years that they never raced in Austria. I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's just the contract fell through, but yeah, when Vettel was dominating, they never raced in Austria, and maybe he won in 2017 or 19 or 18, but I can't remember. Oh no, in 19 it was Verstappen that won. I think in 18 it was Hamilton, and I can't remember 2017. Did you watch the F1 movie? Indeed, I did. I quite enjoyed it. You know, it wasn't the most accurate thing in the world, but I still thought it was pretty cool, pretty epic. You know, you could have predicted the story just by watching the trailer. You kind of knew what was going to happen, but the action scenes were very well done. Like, they weren't realistic, but they were still very well done. Yeah. All right, 1:40 left on the clock here, folks. Gasly comes over the radio. Something's broken on the car. Disastrous turn 1 and 6 all over the pace. So, yeah, Gasly complaining about the car. He just doesn't know what is broken. He's just saying something's broken. They didn't race because of safety issues. Oh, okay. I guess they didn't have the circuit. They didn't add all of the extra safety stuff like that, extra barriers and the Tech Pro and stuff like that. If that's the reason. 14-15 Rosberg, and then 16-17. Okay, interesting. Oh, Verstappen won in 18 and 19. Okay. Pretty good. Thanks for that message. Plag OMG 22. Yeah, 50 seconds left on the clock here, folks. Thanks everyone for coming along to the live stream. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. I will be commentating the qualifying and the race tomorrow, so I look forward to seeing you then. If I end the stream now, I'll take you over to the qualifying stream. All you could do if you could hit the like button and the thumb and the reminder button on the quali stream, it really does help out the stream and the YouTube algorithm and stuff like that. So yeah, look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. But yeah, there really isn't much more to commentate. All of the drivers doing their long runs. Verstappen's pace dropped back down into the 1 minute 9s. I think they changed, well, they obviously changed tyres that he was on and probably gave him a little bit more front wing angle as well. So that is it from me, folks. If you haven't hit the like button already, then be sure to do so and do it on the stream for tomorrow as well for quali. And yeah, the checkered flag is flying. First drivers to take it, Charles Leclerc, and then we got Nico Hülkenberg behind him. That is the end of free practice 2, ladies and gentlemen. We are on for a very close qualifying session tomorrow. Verstappen will have his we'll have some more setup changes overnight, and Piastri and Norris, I suspect, are going to be within half a tenth of each other, not 1.5 tenths. But that's it, folks. Have a wonderful morning, day, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world. I will be commentating for free practice 3 and qualifying and the race. So, yeah, just check the channel, and the FP3 stream will be up there as well. Okay, yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Just hit the like button and the reminder button for tomorrow's stream. And if you guys do want to check out Surfshark VPN, there is a link in the description. Bye-bye, folks.